grow themselves. And it's our growth as individuals that actually allows you to become a chairman, and then a chairman 25, and then a chairman 50, then a chairman 100, and it goes on and on. But you have to be committed to consistent growth. You have to be committed to consistent growth. There are a lot of things that you don't know yet, and that's the reason why you're not chairman. But that's okay, because what that means is as you get the right information, then you're going to become the success story that you desire, right? The only thing, write this down, the only thing between me and my goal is my information and my experiences. That's the only thing. Guys, the more experiences you have shooting for that goal, the more information you have to make you just a better person, that's what's going to help you hit the goals that you want to hit. Think about it. Why are you not the best trader in the world yet? Because you don't have the experience or the information that the best trader in the world has. So in order to become the best trader in the world, what do you need? The right information and the right experiences. That's why, I'm so proud, and I jump on these calls because I love Anthony, I love Rocio, all these leaders in this team, because they've been consistent, right? For years, I see them showing up at events. I see them going out and doing events. I see them traveling. I see them in the trenches doing trainings. That's the recipe for success. It's that continuous commitment to growth, okay? But you also got to be committed to growing physically. The human body, this is one of my favorite things to talk about, but the human body is made up majority of what? Water, okay? Majority water. Now, what happens when water sits around stagnant for a while, right? It becomes, first it could smell, right? Then you're going to see bacteria. You can see, mosquitoes, right? It's nothing good. I'll tell you that much. When water is stagnant, it ain't nothing good coming out of it. When you're stagnant, it's the same thing. There's nothing good coming out of you if you're not up moving. See, I don't even like really doing calls sitting down, right? I live in a condo, so there's not really very much I can do, but I can't wait to have my house because I'm gonna be outside doing calls, walking around, because again, a body in motion creates more emotions, creates more passion, right? Creates more fire. I think, sometimes we're searching for the energy, but the energy that we need is in motion, right? So grow yourself physically, get moving, because at the end of the day, if you're not moving, either is your business. And that's so funny, but it's so true. People are like, what is the gym? What is moving? What does walking have to do? It has everything to do with it. You got to be moving around. So spend 30 minutes to an hour a day moving. If you could take a certain call, maybe not a training call like this, right? But maybe there's a motivation call, maybe there's, a specific, maybe you do your mental growth, your personal development while you're out for a walk, while you're out for a bike ride, while you're moving around in the gym, on the treadmill, lifting, whatever, right? I always try to kill two birds with one stone. So pick up those habits. Those are good habits to have. Now, also spiritual. Guys, spirituality has nothing to do with religion, with God, or anything like that. Okay? Well, it does have something to do with God, but in this context, it really just has to do with you. Right? Spirituality is truly the discovery of one's self, right? So you discovering who you are and who you were made to be. So you got to be able to grow spiritually in this business, because we see people when they're not growing spiritually, their business gets stuck. And then they blame everything else. But at the end of the day, their life is a tight knit, like a knot. It's like a tight knot, right? And the only way to get the knots out are to actually spend time doing spiritual development. And this is something that I really started implementing myself, teaching people, talking about. I think this is such a pivotal piece to the fulfillment, the inner peace that I've had for the last 6 months to a year. I could not be able to juggle everything that I juggle, become now an educator on the platform, be a Chairman 750, work on corporate. I work on corporate stuff every single day. I oversee all the educators for the most part. And I would not be able to do that if I was not in alignment with who I am, right? If I wasn't in a full understanding and honestly just loving who I am as a person. Because if you don't take that time, you can't help other people grow if you're not growing, right? That's why the spiritual side is so important. And then the last concept here is, well, there's actually two. I used to talk about four, right? So mental, physical, spiritual, and financial, but I actually started adding and talking about a fifth component, which is emotional. Because you could say emotional is mental and spiritual, but I think, emotions play such a big role in this. So we're going to talk about the financial aspect, which, if I was giving this training to generic, entrepreneurs or whatever, it's a little bit different, but we're part of IM Academy. Our financial course is what we promote. It's what we live. It's what we do. And I think, look, I know there's a lot of builders, and I know we're excited about building. We're excited about going chairman. I know, Anthony and this group have an amazing culture of building and, leadership. But at the end of the day, there is one important thing, and it's your ability to be a product of the product, right? And to grow yourself financially, because I truly believe that our ability to use the services, or our ability to explain them, or our ability to train on them, or our ability to genuinely walk people through what we do will be a separating factor between you and mega momentum, right? I can tell you that I get on calls all day long, and I can walk people through the products. If they ask me trading questions, I can answer them. No, I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm not recommending that you become the next master educator. For me, that was something that happened. But, at the end of the day, you don't even need to be a professional trader unless you want to go chairman. But you do need to be a product of the product. Guys, you have amazing services. I got most of the people that I'm enrolling, I put them on, FRX or HFX or DCX, and then they add on DeLorean. Right now, I love what we're seeing with DeLorean across the board. I think it's very simple. They have 4 steps. They're trading live. People are doing really well with them. Patrick Kenny is super professional. Tyrone is a beast. DCX is amazing. Okay, so guys, there's a lot of great things. You have Gold Cup, which is the OG, right? Gold Cup, respect. You've got Steady. You've got, well, the guys on Steady are unreal. You've got Levels. So there's so many good services, and all you need to really do is devote 30 minutes to an hour a day, because the more you feel comfortable, the more testimonial you have trading, the more you're using the services, the easier it's going to be for you to actually build this business, right? There's nothing. I was just on a phone call on my drive home with one of my buddies from high school, and we were on with a girl we went to high school's husband. And Jeff was like, look, dude, I made $1,000 this morning using the products. And the guy's belief is like through the roof. Now, obviously, we can't talk about this on social media. We don't post profits. But, if you're having a man-to-man, woman-to-woman, man-to-woman, woman-to-man conversation with a prospect, you can tell them, hey, look, bro, like I tell people, look, I made multiple 6 figures working in the cryptocurrency space. I can use that. It's not an income claim. If it's, person to person, I'm just sharing my testimonial. Obviously, again, it's not something that we project to the world. But, if I'm telling somebody, look, I've used this. I came in knowing nothing, and I used this service, and I used the education for years, and I've yielded a result. And that's going to boost somebody's belief. Now, the next piece to this is the emotional growth. So you guys are going to grow financially, and that's something that you got to take serious. Okay. Hold on. We have a serious deadline to mail a check-in for taxes by 5 p.m. So just shoot a quick message. But the emotional growth is so important, guys. Okay. I love this book. I love Emotional Intelligence 2.0. Okay. I think that this book is the make or break for a lot of people. This book can take your leadership, your income to the next level, to a different level, to a very high level. I think that when a leader is growing emotionally, we do it, for ourselves, but then we do it to lead others. And we're going to deal with emotions. That's one of the reasons, honestly, why I have so much respect for Anthony. You guys have an amazing, amazing leader pulling this thing, and, amazing leaders duplicate amazing leaders. But one of the things about Anthony that I would put him up against, almost anybody, one of those things is his level of emotional IQ. His emotional intelligence quota is through the roof. And, Anthony is somebody that you guys can really, truly idolize and look up to, because even when things get a little crazy, right? This is life. We're going to deal with some adversity, right? We've got COVID, we've got riots, we've got elections, we've got this, we got a million different things that are happening, right? When we deal with adversity, it's not about the adversity. I'm a huge fan of Jim Rohn. And you know what Jim Rohn says? He says the same wind blows on us all. So it's not the blowing of the wind that's going to determine your future, that's going to determine your outcome, but it's the set of the sail. And the set of the sail is your emotional intelligence. That's what it is. It's the way you handle adversity that's going to make you successful long term. There was a time when Matthew Rosa and I joined this company. We were not the big uplines. We were not the big face of the company. We were not, the big chairman. Our enrollers were actually blowing up super fast, probably too fast, and they grew. Their income outgrew their income outgrew their leadership level. Their income outgrew their emotional intelligence, and that is the recipe for disaster. Because if you make more money than you're qualified to make, you will lose it. It's the law of income. I think that's what they call it, the law of income, right? It's gravity. You are, whatever income you are making, or whatever, your income will rise or fall based upon your skill set, period. Easiest way to say it. And our leaders got emotional about a few changes that we had to make in the company. They went behind Chris Terry's back. They tried to start another company, and it didn't really work out so well for them, honestly. Long story short, it ended up they left the company. They left behind a really solid income. They didn't make any money in this new, amazing, beautiful company, and everybody ended up really just hitting rock bottom. Most of our leaders that were P5, Chairman 10, ended up going homeless, and we had to give them money so they didn't end up, eating off the garbage off the side of the road. And now they're back, and some of those leaders are Chairman 25, 50s, 100s, 250s. But at the end of the day, it was the lack of emotional intelligence that caused the downfall, right? And so I do take this very serious. I think that if you guys really are ready to blow this thing up on a different level, that your skills have to rise. Rising tides raise all the ships. So we can't get upset that our team, I've heard every excuse in the book. My team, if only my team could grind like me. If only my team was working as much as I'm working. If only my team. No, it's not about the team. It's about the leader. It's about the leader, okay? Right? The speed of the leader determines the speed of the team. We've all heard that before. This is, pretty common stuff, that as you grow, your team is going to grow. Now watch this. What if you don't have a team? Guys, I remember the days when I had 4 or 5 leaders in my organization, and today I have almost 300,000, right? It's going to take some time, but I truly believe that the law of attraction will work in your favor. I truly, truly believe that. I truly believe that we need to build this business with faith, not fear. I think it's very easy to get sucked into the fear component, to let fear take over. I think it's very easy for, the fear of failing or the fear. Watch this. Sometimes I tell people, you know what you really need to go look at? I think some people don't have a fear of failure. I think some people have a fear of success. And if you go look at YouTube and you type in fear of success on YouTube, you guys are going to see some really deep stuff. There's been a couple TED Talks. There's been a couple really good videos and trainings done about the fear of success. And I'm realizing more and more that it's not fear that it's not failure that we fear. It's success. Because the human mind, if somebody is used to failing, then they're not fearing it. It's what they know, right? It's like when I was in Mexico and we went down to the caves and the cenotes, they had fish there that are blind. There's bats there that are blind. Why? Because they're used to the dark. They've adapted to the dark. That's where they live. Well, if somebody's lived in mostly poverty, if somebody's lived in mostly a negative situation, if somebody's lived in an abusive situation, that is going to be their cave. That's going to be their cenote, right? So they're going to be blind to success. Okay, how about that for an analogy? So if you've never seen the sun, then you'll be blind because all you see is the dark. And that's the way that it is sometimes when we talk about income, success, money. Man, some people have never made more than $600 in a month. So mentally they get stuck at Platinum 600. And the reason why is because they're deflecting all the success above 600, right? They're deflecting the meeting. They're scared to go prospect the guy or the girl who can take them to Platinum 1000. They're scared to pick up the phone, right? There's people, I've never made $1 million in a month before, right? So there's a level that I have to grow in order to attract. I'm not just going to sit around and go hit ranks. No, as a leader, if you are not where you want to be, then there is something that you're missing. And that's the second time in this training that comes up. And this is not, premeditated. There's no script or anything like that. That's just the God's honest truth. So you need to start training your mind and stretching your mind to adapt to the fear of success that I think maybe a lot of people battle. Honestly. I think that we need to use the spiritual growth, whether it is finding a pastor or someone that you respect, or maybe it's just meditation. Maybe it's just prayer. It doesn't need to be religious at all. It's just connecting, right? And recharging. And maybe through that meditation, I remember one night I was listening to, you guys are going to find this kind of funny, but this is God's honest truth. I was completely 100% sober for this, by the way, as well. So I remember one night, everybody was gone out partying. It was a Friday night. And I was like, really? I think we were Platinum 5,000. And I just really was like feeling this breakthrough. And I knew that there was something that I needed to do. And so I just laid down on my bed. I turned all the lights off and I just meditated for the first time. But I had headphones in and I listened to Kid Cudi. And I think the song was Immortal. And I just put it on replay. And I just got into this trance. And I was just like, I was listening to the song and, I really just started to think about my life and I created it. It was crazy. Like I literally knew in that moment that I was going to be successful. I saw it. I created it. It sounds wild. I promise you I was 100% sober. There was no hallucinogens. Like I literally got into this place and that was really like a strong first meditation, but I knew in that moment that I created what I had envisioned. And today we're Chairman 750. I have a lot of the things already that I've envisioned. And I've been able to, I thought about taking my family on vacations. I thought about taking my leaders on vacations. I thought about retiring my parents. I thought about, cutting a check and paying their mortgage. I thought about houses that I wanted and, all this stuff that a majority of it has become a reality. And I can tell you guys that I'll never forget that night played such a big role for me. And so I always point it back to stretching. That night, I created a reality. And once you create a reality, you stretch the reality that you currently have. It's like a rubber band, right? If you stretch that rubber band, it's actually a better example is like a bag from the grocery store, like a plastic bag. Once you stretch that bag, it can never go back to its normal form unless it is completely melted down and rebuilt, right? So once you stretch your reality, I remember one time I was in a car and a kid was like, oh yeah, you know, I never seen X amount of dollars in the bank. And I was like, cool. And I handed him the app on my phone and he was like, bro, you don't know what you just did for me. He's like, you don't understand. He's like, dude, I'll never be the same. And I'll never forget that conversation. He's like, I'll never be the same. That's the truth. I didn't give him the money. It's my money. But he saw it, right? He saw it. And because he saw it, it stretched his mind's perception of reality. He said, I'll never be the same. And that's the truth. And that's the way you guys have to think of it. That's why we see, you know, hold on. That's why we see, you know, people that put sticky notes, that put, you know, $100 bills or $1 million bill or whatever. That's why you see that. You know, you see your vision board. I remember when I was getting started, one of the things that I did was I went on Google and I looked up like the house that I wanted. I looked up a yacht that I wanted, the car that I wanted, and I just printed everything out and I cut it out with scissors. And I mean, we're talking, I had no money, right? But I just put these pictures all around my desk. So when I was on a call, when I was prospecting, when I was closing, when I was laying down the opportunity, I would see these things. And the more you see it, the more you're going to raise your vibration to create that reality because you're stretching that perception. So make sure that you guys plug in and you know, see yourself hitting, you know, P1000, see yourself hitting P2000, see yourself hitting P5000. Understand, be very clear. Every single guru will tell you, be very clear with your intention. Be very clear with why, right? Because I believe that every single person on this call, every single person in the company, every single person that we're ever going to meet is entitled, not entitled. I don't want to use that word, but I want to say is entitled and deserving. That's even better of success. But I believe that God needs to know your heart, your intentions first. So you got to be very clear and very certain about what you're going to do. Be very clear and be very certain about what you're going to do with that money. Because if you know, hey, when I go P2000, I'm going to take $200. I'm going to tithe my 10% to church. I'm going to give my money, you know, give $400 to my mom. I'm going to put $300 to my team. And then the rest is going to go to my bills, food, and, I'm going to treat myself to a new pair of shoes, whatever, right? Be a good steward of your money. Because if that money's coming in and you don't have a plan and you're not sowing part of that blessing back into other people, it's a dangerous road, you know, every single week. Every single week, I give money to my church. Every single month, I give 10 grand a month to my parents. Every single month, I'm sowing into my team, reinvesting. And I believe that that is a big reason why I got the blessing, but why I continue to receive that blessing is because I said it. This is my intention. This is my goal. This is my why. And when I got it, I did it. I followed through. You got to follow through. because I've also seen people that have said on stage, oh yeah, when I make this money, I'm going to retire my mom. That's my why. And then they spend more money on Gucci, Louis Vuitton at Chairman 10 than a Chairman 500 is spending on designer clothes. And the blessing is gone. It's literally gone. And part of that is because people can see through you. Leadership is like it's like a glass house, right? You can hide some things, but you can't hide from intelligent people. If you're a good person, your team is going to know you're a good person and they're loyal to you. They will follow you. Remember, if people don't make money right away, it's okay. As long as you're a good person, they're going to stay in the game long enough to see success. I truly believe that. I believe that if people are leaving the organization, yeah, guess what, guys? Some of the people you bring in are going to do nothing. It's okay. Not everybody's going to work. The right people are going to work. Remember that. You got to keep telling yourself it's okay because the right people are going to work. It's okay because the right people are going to show up. You know, I truly, truly, truly believe that. And look at my testimonial. If you need something to hinge your belief on, look at my story, guys. 70 grand in debt, years in network marketing, barely even made a check. Barely even made a check. But I stayed in the game long enough. I knew my why, and I stuck to it. So stick to it. That's the key. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about, because I got a deadline, I got to meet here. The last thing we're going to talk about is action. Nothing matters more than the action you take getting off this call. There's people out there who need this more than you. There's people out there who are looking for opportunity and need that communication. And it's just our job. It's not our job to sell. It's not our job to, shark people. It's not our job to just go get signups. Our job is, honestly, it's pretty simple. To share the platform. The tools work. The services work. The educators are amazing, including the new one. Wink, wink. No, the tools work, guys. And the services are great. So we don't really need to sell people. We don't really need to beg people. We don't really need to do any of that anymore, right? We really just need to share. I mean, I went to City Furniture today. I ordered a couch. They delivered it to the wrong address. Somebody signed, took my couch, whatever. I said, it's cool. So I went back. I got a different one. And I was talking to the salesman for a few minutes. I was like, we didn't talk anything about business, but I was like, hey, bro, what's your Instagram? He gets on, he's like, hey, bro, my little cousin follows you. And he's like, what do you do? I said, oh, I'm part of a trading education platform. We teach people how to trade. He's like, no way, bro. Like, I've always been a little bit skeptical about it. He's like, my cousin's been telling me, I didn't even believe. Turns out his little cousin's in one of my teams. And he's like, bro, I'm in. He literally said, bro, now that I met you, I'm in. I didn't even show him the damn products. Took action. I could have walked out that door and not said, hey, bro, let's stay connected. But I took the opportunity. I said, hey, bro, what's your Instagram? Let's stay connected. And then he closed himself, right? I think when we try too hard, we seem desperate. And then people are like, yo, what do you want from me? Like, what's the intention? I try to be very clear that I don't care about your money. I don't care about any of that. But what I care about the most is helping them. And if they see that I'm not treating them like a number, I'm not trying to sell them or pressure them to do something, then I'm not telling them I care. I'm showing them that I care. Does that make sense? See, sometimes we try so hard to tell people that we care, to tell people that we're ready to invest in them, to tell people that we have their best interest, yet we're showing them something different. And this doesn't make you a bad person. I'm not calling you out or trying to make you feel bad. This took me years to just kind of understand. I'm like, man, we can be so genuine and not even ask for the order, right? There's a way, there's an art form to building the relationship, showing them value, and then giving them a game plan. Like I literally just give people the game plan. That's it. I'm like, look, when you get started, here's going to be this, here's this, here's this, here's this. Boom, you're good to go. And I send it all to them. And I'm like, let's get you rocking, right? Let's get you going, right? Let's get you going. Not when are you going to sign up? Yo, when are you gonna pay? When are you gonna subscribe? Yo, I need you in my team. I need you in my downline. Like there's just certain things you don't say because it's weird. This is not a transaction business. Car sales is a transaction. Direct sales is a transaction. This is a relationship. This is a friendship. This is something that needs to go beyond just the transaction. Because to be honest, when the transaction is made, that's when the job really begins. Prospecting and getting people to sign up is the easy part, but it's the game plan and helping them see that vision to get past the first 60, 90 days. That's where the millions are made. That's where the legacy is made. That's where the chairman are made. Not in how, guys, some of my best recruiters, best enrollers don't really rank up. So am I telling you not to recruit? No, you have to stay in phase one, but it's not just about getting people to join. It's about getting them trained properly. So don't just be obsessed with, let me put in all these people, go, 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 go. Yes, it's important, guys. You got to stay in phase one. Matt Rosa and I have 5,000 PRSV and 10,000 PSV. We signed up 7-8 people last week. Anthony knows he's going to chat with all our chairmen. Matt and I out enrolled, I think, every single chairman in our team last week. Chairman 750, still in phase one. Stay in phase one, but you got to set your people up for success. When you bring people in, find 2 or 3 people in your team that you know that their reality, that their personality will relate, right? Find 2 or 3 people in your team that you think, can really mesh with that person. Throw them in a group chat and say, look, I'm still here for you. I'm not passing you off. I'm just building more support around you. I want to connect you to so-and-so. I want to connect you to, Samuel, and I want to connect you to Kevin. These are 2 great people in our organization. Kevin's really good at trading. He's using DeLorean. Jose is really good at crypto. Guys, just let them feel an overwhelming amount of support, right? And whether people actually do anything with that person or not, is what it is. Is what it is. Is what it is. But at least we set them up for success. So I appreciate you guys big time. I went a little bit over, but I really didn't want to cut any corners. And I just wanted to get on here and give you guys that true message that building this business does not need to be more complicated because it's really simple. We just share a platform with people. And if you're a good person, over the course of time, you're going to get the result that you're looking for. Be aggressive. Talk to people. Don't be shy. Don't shy away from sharing this opportunity. It's something you should be proud of. I don't care what the press says. I don't care what your cousin says. I don't care what people on social media say. This is a legitimate company. This is a legitimate thing. Forex is not a company. It's actually a market. So when people say certain things, I just pray them up to God and keep it moving because I know that they haven't done their fair share of research. And that's it. Like, we're here. You guys see the value. You have amazing leaders, and we're here for you. So I'm pumped. Really excited to, get into the new year and get out of this quarantine so we can get out to Puerto Rico and do some big events and, not have to worry about social distancing. And, I look forward to really getting to know you guys and having a chance to come to the island for the first time. And even here in Miami, get back in the trenches. So appreciate you guys big time. I got to run. But Rocio, thank you for the intro. And love you, dog. Appreciate you guys. And hey, we'll see you guys soon.
Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate you all. Now let's take some massive, massive action.